welcome back to my channel and welcome the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey by hitting that subscription button. It's free, and hit the bell notification to be notified of the new uploads. I would just like to mention that if the video is a little bit too fast for you, up top there's 3 little buttons. You can click there, slow down the video to the speed you'd like. Also, right next to it, there's the CC letters for closed caption. You can turn that on, and you can read all the stitch that I'm calling down here. By pausing the video, take notes, will make it easier for you. Now, normally when I upload the videos, it takes about an hour for YouTube to search all my words that I'm saying, so it can appear on the closed captions. So don't panic if you don't see right away the closed captions, because the video has just been launched. It will show up in about a half an hour to an hour after the upload. I also would like to mention that if you have extra yarn, extra thread, and you'd like to help the women in need, we highly appreciate it and being very, very grateful for it. Thank you for the ones I already have helped and are still helping. If you'd like to donate, right below the video, there's a little bag of $. You can donate whatever amount you'd like. Nobody's asking for millions. Anything helps. It adds up at the end. You can also go into the description box. My PayPal account is there. You can donate through there if you'd like also. Please always give a thumbs up on the video if you like the video. It does help the video to circulate and also to be recognized worldwide. I gratefully appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's one way to help me out and to help to continue to create these beautiful pieces. Also share on your Facebook public. It costs nothing. Everything is free. There's no charge of anything. So please help out to grow the channel. I do have a Facebook group, private group. If you have a profile, you're more than welcome to request to be a member. It's free, of course, and we'll approve you. You must have a profile. Be careful with the links that you go into the groups that says cut and bit. These are fraud scammers that go through your phones, your computers, and take every information of yours. Do not open up those links. There's a lot of hackers in the groups now. That's why I made sure that my group is private. I want to thank every single one of you from the start being with me, and thank you so much for the newcomers. It costs nothing to subscribe, so please do so. Thank you so much, everybody. Everything will be listed always in the description box for every pattern that I create, the sizes, the thread that I use, which is Portugal thread. They're 100% cotton thread, 4-ply, which is similar to Aunt Lydia. Number 3, which number 3 Aunt Lydia is just a little bit thicker than my thread, not by much, but a little bit. I usually use a hook 3 or 3.5, a small one for tucking in loose ends, and a pair of scissors, of course. So thank you, everybody. Any other questions, suggestions, please feel free to comment. You can always get a hold of me if your intentions are to give some thread or yarn away. There's my email below the description box. There's my Facebook page that you can follow also, my Facebook group, my Instagram, my TikTok. So there's so many ways you can message me. Thank you so much, everybody. I hug every single one of you, and much blessings to all of you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, everyone, so today we're going to create a table runner. Now, I've just launched the centerpiece as a motive for any pattern that you would like to create. And I've done that with a different video from this one because it takes too much space on my mobile. And not only that, some people would like centerpieces for different creations. Don't mind the dogs. These are neighbor dogs, and they're doing fireworks, and the dogs get scared, and it's just so annoying. Poor things. So I apologize if you hear barking. It's neighbor's dogs. Okay, so be using the white, which I had done the tutorial on the motive a little bit, and then I continued on from there to continue this video. So 4-ply, 100% cotton thread. There goes the fireworks. My goodness. Sorry, people. Similar to Aunt Lydia number 3. Aunt Lydia number 3 is a little bit thicker than mine, so your pattern will be bigger. And then I have this Bling gold. I know on camera it doesn't really show that much. This is a little bit thinner. It does not have a size. This is like a nylon but I still use the same hook even though it's thinner, so it can match up to the rest of the stitches. If I was to use a thinner thread, then everything would curl up. That's another thing that you must do. For people that have tight tension and you do some patterns, because I get a lot of those comments, but my pattern is curling too much. In some patterns, it's normal to curl up a bit, but as you go, especially on the round doilies, as you go on the rows, it tends to stretch out and everything falls to place. But if it's extremely curling up like a hat too much, your tension's too tight, and you should use a 2 or 3 higher number of a hook in order to get it not to curl up, okay? Especially for people that have very tight tension. So I'm using a 2.75 hook. Normally I use a 3.5, but I've gotten used to using this 2.75. I like working with it. It's quite comfortable. Of course, a pair of scissors and a small one to tuck in your loose ends, okay? So we're going to continue on from here, from this centerpiece that I have done the tutorial on. I'm going to show you the centerpiece that I'm doing. This is going to be on my dining room table. I wanted to spoil myself a little bit too. I think I deserve that. This is big. This is like a 2 meter. It's going to go right across on the center of the dining room table. So it's over 2 meters for the length. It's supposed to hang a bit on the side. I wish I had made it a little bit bigger so I can hang more, but unfortunately I didn't take the right measurements, did I? But it's okay. It covers the whole table on the center anyway. And this one that I'm creating now is going to be on the width, so the wideness of the table. So it's going to be put on the table like a cross, like that, and it's going to look stunning. So this is the centerpiece, what it looks like for this table runner. I hope you're going to enjoy this tutorial. Very simple, very fast to create, and it makes a gorgeous decoration on the table. Now I've used the white and gold, but this is not necessarily just for Christmas. You can use white and gold or other colors as you wish for your dining room. I think the gold complements everything on the dining room to begin with. So it matches pretty much anything like candles or certain plates, or if you have bling decorations on your tables. It doesn't matter what it is anyway. Or you can use it as a runner for your buffet also, or the entrance buffet door table at the door on your hallway as the entrance. I think it's stunning for that too. Okay, so this is what the both edges are going to look like on each end, obviously. Very simple, and these are all slip stitch, okay? All the gold is done with slip stitch. So we're going to get started. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It does help the channel quite a bit. Also share. Sharing is caring, and it helps to grow the channel. So we're going to continue from this. Enjoy the tutorial. Okay, everyone. So on this table runner, which is for the width, the wideness across the table, you have to have odd numbers, either or, in order to get that effect on the sides here, the motive that we're going to create. Okay, so I finished doing my last double crochet of the 7 double crochet. So we have 4 groups of 7 double crochet, 2 chain space between them. And like I mentioned at the other video, creating this piece, if you want to go wider, you have to do it from the start. When you're doing the chain stitch, you have to add about 9 chain stitch more, because that's what you have to total up to get the 7 groups. Okay, so I've done my last one here. I'm going to come in exactly on the last one that I've done here of the double crochet. Okay, so I'm just doing my last ones properly right on top of the previous row. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a single and 1 chain. This equals my double crochet. I'm going to work on the side of the table runner, and we're going to be creating another double crochet inside of this double crochet here on the last one. So now we have 2. We're going directly into the next space and creating 2 double crochets. So all the way around, we're going to build groups of 2 double crochet. So simple as that. This would make perfect for placemats for your dining room or kitchen, using the size that you want. Just remembering that you have to finish in odd numbers, okay? And you can create whatever size you'd like. So we're going to continue to do this 2 double crochets per space going into each row here on the last double crochet, and creating 2 double crochet per space. I'm going to continue mine, and then I'll meet you at the corner, at the end on the corner on the other side, because the corners will have to be built the same way, okay? Okay, you guys, so I'm on my last one, which is the last row, and I have still my string from the beginning. So I'm going to come in my last row, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets, and also one right on the last stitch here where we had started the chain. Okay, now of course it's tight from tightening everything up, so we're going to do 1 double crochet there right at that stitch. So basically we have 3 on this last one, right? Now we're going to do 1, 2, 3 chain, because we're doing the curve. I'm going to come back in to the same space where we did this last double crochet here, and then 1 per space on the edge. Of course my stitch is so tight here. Oops, I think I'm grabbing too much thread here. Now normally when it's too tight like this, especially to start off, right, I would grab like this, the smaller hook. So we're going to do 1 double crochet per space, and I'm going to hide my thread as I'm going. So 1 double crochet per space. That's where we have the groups of 7. Hiding my leftover thread as I'm going from the beginning when we did the chain stitch. And inside of this 2 chain here, we're going to do 2 double crochets. Okay, and we're going to continue to do 1 per space. So I'll meet you at the corner here on the edge. Okay, everyone, so I'm on my last one, and I'm going to grab right on the corner to do my last double crochet. So we're still in the edge. So I've done my last double crochet. I'm going to do chain 3, and I'm going to come back in the same space and do 1 more double crochet to form that corner right on the corner of the last one, and then right away into that row and create 2 double crochets. Okay, so that means you finish doing your last one right at the edge, chain 3, in the same edge another double crochet, and then of course the row right below, which is right after you finish doing that corner, you do 2 double crochets, and then you continue on until the next corner. Now I'm going to continue to do my 2 double crochets per space, and we have to form the same way as we did on this corner. Remember, we did the 2 double crochets and 1 at the corner here, and then we did 3 chain, and then the same corner we did 1. So we'll have to do the same thing on this corner here also at the edge. Okay, but I'll meet you there to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Okay, so just continue yours. We're on the side, so just continue 2 per space, and then I'll meet you at the edge. Okay, everyone, so I'm reaching the last one. So we have to do this corner the same way as we did, not the previous one, but the one before. So we're coming in right into the corner and create those 2 double crochets in that corner. And then we're going to create one more on this last double crochet here from the chain going up, because on this row we did a single and a chain. So I'm right on the chain. I'm creating another double crochet. So we have 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm coming back into the same space as we just did the double crochet with another double crochet. And then right on top of the double crochet from the edge, and 1 per space. And 2 inside of the chain space here. Even if you're making a smaller one, let's say like placemat or just small doily, square small doily, normally it's like 27 rows or 29 rows, depending upon the size that you would like. This one I have 121 rows of these motifs. The other one I have over 200. So you have to measure your table to see how big you'd like it to be hanging, or if you even want it to be hanging at all. Okay, so again, 2 inside of the 2 chain space, and then just continue 1 per space. Okay, and I'll meet you here at the edge. This is where we first started. Okay, so I've reached the end. And now we're at the corner where we have that single 1 chain where we started the side, remember? So I'm going to come here, my first single, well, not the single, well, from the corner, yes, but not the single here in the chain, okay? But the corner one here. And I'm going to do a double crochet. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And again, another double crochet on the same space, okay, right at the edge there. Now I'm going to come, not where we have the single and the 1 chain, but the one right after, so we can have a perfect finish. And I'm going to bring my string to the back. I'm going to pull it to the back. And come back into the same space of the same one we pulled it to the back, and do a single and 1 chain. That would equal a double crochet. Next space, another double crochet. So here's your perfect corner like all of the other ones. I'm going to do 1, 2 chain. I'm going to skip 1, 2 on my third one. I'm doing double crochet. Just put this here on the side, and we're going to create groups of 2 double crochet, 1 right after another. So now I have my second group already. Chain 2, skip 1, 2 on my third one. Okay, 1, 2 chain, skip 1, 2 on my third one. And we're going to create this, of course, until the edge, and then I'll meet you at the edge. Now we want to make sure that we have odd numbers of these groups. If we don't, then we'll need to adjust the stitch to make sure we have odd numbers, or we're going to be in trouble in the next row. Okay, so we'll adjust it once we get to the end. I'll meet you at the end. We're at the side. Okay. And we're going to create, skip 2 space, go in the third, create a double crochet, and then the next double crochet. Create these 2 groups with 2 chain space between them. I'll meet you at the edge. Okay, you guys, so I'm almost at the edge. Now, I want to make sure it's clear. So we'll have even numbers on the groups, which I didn't make myself clear, but odd numbers on the squares, and that's what we need. We need odd on these squares. So here will be my 59th square. But if I skip 1, 2, 3, I will have to do another one here, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make an adjustment, okay? So I'm going to take my last one, my 59th group, okay? I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go into my 4th to create my 59th, okay? And then I'm going to do 1, 2 chain, and I'm going to come into the first, so we have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come into the first chain here of the 3 chains at the corner, okay? And this will give me the 59 squares that I need. That means I'll be having 60, including with this one here, of the groups, okay? Because not forgetting that once we get around to the end, we're going to be working here, and we're still going to create another corner here, right? So it has to be odd, exactly as I mentioned. Well, actually, I was mentioning before we need to have odd numbers, and I think I mentioned was groups, but it's not groups. Groups, you're going to have even numbers. You have to have odd numbers on the squares in order to be properly, okay? So we've done the double crochet on the first chain there. We're going to do another double crochet on the second chain here. So we have that other group, which makes the 60th group and my 59 squares. Okay, so whatever size you're making, just make sure you have odd squares, and it's going to be even numbers of group. Here we're going to do chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to come back into the same space as we did this one here, and then 1 in the last single here. So we have our corner group, okay? And then we're going to do 1, 2 chain. We're going to skip 1, 2, come into the third one. We need to have the same thing, same count. So we need to have odd squares and even number of groups. So chain 2, skip 1, 2 on my third one. Now if we need to make an adjustment again, like we just did here at this corner, then we will, okay? Chain 2, skip 1, 2 on my third one, and double crochet and another double crochet. So we're continuing the groups. I'll meet you at the edge. So I'm at the end, almost in the next corner. Now, if you look at it, I have 1 square, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Obviously, we're going to create the other squares, so it's 9 squares. But we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the other 2 on the corner will be 10, so it's even, okay? So 1, 2 chain. I'm coming into the first double chain here, the first stitch chain here, and 1 in the next space. I'm going to do the 5 chains again for the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming back into the same space and create my double crochet, and then I'm coming into the next space, which is very tight, as you can see. Okay, and most definitely we're going to have to get into the same situation as we had on this side. So here we skipped 1, 2, 3, and we came into the fourth one. So we'll do the same thing here to get it out of the way. So chain 2. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and we're coming into the fourth one, and then continue to proceed with your squares. 1, 2 chain, skip 1, 2, and the normal skipping, which is coming into the third one. Okay, 1, 2, skip 1, 2 on the third space, create your groups again. Okay, and the other corners will be the same thing as we just finished doing. So just make sure you have odd. Okay, so if we put them together, that we know that we're just perfect on the lining up, right? But you want to make sure you count odd, and then you'll have the even numbers of the groups. So I'm going to continue mine, and we'll do the same thing on the other side of the edge. So you have to have the same amount. We have 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So on the other edge, you have to have 9 squares, and then you'll have even number groups. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I've reached the corner, and on this corner, again, I'm going to skip 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go into the first chain there, okay, and then next space, double crochet, and then 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to come back in the same space and into the next space, next chain, which is very tight. It's almost like right on top of the corner one here. Chain 2, and we're going to repeat the same thing. Skip 1, 2 on my third one, and then you have to have your 9 squares here again. 1, 2, exactly like the other side. So if something went wrong, just adjust it, and will make a difference on the pattern. Okay. And I'll meet you here at the end, which we're going to do exactly the same thing here. And then 2 chain, because we have to create the corner one with the 5 chain. And then we're going to attach it here. But I'll meet you there at the end. So I'm at the end. I did my 2 chain. I'm going to come in that first chain here, create my double crochet, next space my double crochet, and 5 chain, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back into the same space and double crochet, and into the next space, double crochet. So we have our corner again, and here we're not going to do a 2 chain, we're going to do a half double crochet. So I'm going to come into the first, we have the single and 1 chain, so I'm going to come into 1 chain, and I'm just going to close it half double crochet so we can stay here. Okay, I'm going to come back in and do a single, and 1, 2, a single and 1 chain for me is a double crochet. For some of you, depending on your stitch, could be a single and 2 chain for a double crochet. But for mine, it will be single and 1 chain for double crochet, and then 1 and 2 chain for space. So I have 1, 2, 3 chain after my single. I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to do a double crochet. Now, some of you might have extreme tight tension, so you can do a 3 chain or 4 chain instead of 3 chain. Okay, next space we're going to do again double crochet. We're going to create V's. I'm going to do 3 chain I'm going to come back into the same space and create, I think this one here is too small, so I'm going to do another chain here because I think it's too. So I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 4 chain all together. That's including, okay, so single and 1, 2, 3, 4 chain. And I'm going to come back in, do double crochet, next space, no chain in between. We're doing double crochet and 1, 2, 3 chain again, and double crochet. So we're creating these V's. Double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and back in again. Okay, now before I go even any further, because it will be harder for me, I'm just going to give it a good stretch, and I'll come back to that row afterwards. I don't want to cut my thread, so I'm going to proceed now with the gold. Okay, I'm going to leave a little bit of a string on my gold so I can tie it at the end. This is a nylon, so it slips a lot too, and it's way thinner than my thread, but I'm using the same size of hook because I don't want it to be pulling too much on my pattern. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a stretch here, okay? Now this is optional for you. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it because I think it looks gorgeous. So you can start pretty much anywhere, but I'm going to start right here, okay? And I'm going to pull it, my little knot, slip stitch knot I did, to the front, just like that. Now I started here, but you can start pretty much anywhere. And this is just going to be a slip stitch, and it makes it much easier to work when there's not too much rows here, or else to get your stitches in, it's kind of a little bit hard if you have more rows going on. So next space, just like that, and then next space, slip stitch. Okay, this is all about slip stitch, and don't pull too much on your tension. If you need to use a bigger hook, then go ahead, because if your tension's too tight and you're doing this slip stitch, it's going to crumple up the pattern. You don't want to do that, okay? Now, like I said, if you have to use a bigger hook, then go ahead, okay? So all it is to this is just slip stitch in between this row here and the groups. So we're going to do this all the way around, and then I'll the corner, we're just going to go right inside of these loops here, okay? But I'll meet you at the corner. So I don't want to get my no, I can't get my white thread stuck there. That wouldn't be too smart, right? So I got to pull this thread away from my gold. I'll be in trouble. That wouldn't be a smart thing to get the one stuck there underneath, right? Okay, so that's all you have to do, is just slip stitch through it loosely, loose enough that it's going to stretch once you're going to block it, and your stitches will be nice and stretched. As you can see, you got enough space here on the loops, because if you tighten it, oh my god, it's gonna really crumple up. So if we stretch enough, they're just gonna fall perfect into place. So I'm giving those loops a nice space of wideness. I'm loosening those tension as much as I possibly can without tightening at all. Okay, so I'll meet you at the corner. Okay, you guys, so I've reached the corner, And now I'm going to go into the first stitch here. Now if you find that it's too tight, and use a smaller hook, but loosen up your tension into the next space. So we're just doing that little curve, okay? I'm coming in again with one more slip stitch on the same space so it doesn't pull too much on this curve and gives us a nice round space. So another slip stitch on the same space, and then I'm continuing on, and so all four corners will be the same. If you need to do 2 slip stitches on the same space, then go ahead, just to get it going like that and create a nice little shaped corner there. Okay, so continue to do that all the way to the end, and then you can cut your thread. We're going to tie it. Make sure we do a few knots and go through some of the golden stitch in the back to make sure that nothing comes loose. Especially with this one, that's a nylon, it slips a lot, so I have to make sure really that I have a few knots on there. And then we're going to continue on to do the white, the V's everywhere the same way. So once I finish with my gold, I'm going to tuck in, make a few knots in the back, of course, and then continue with my V's all the way to the corner. So once I get to the other corner with the V's down here, and make sure I don't lose this thread, it slips a lot. So once I get here, after doing the V's, I'll come back to you, okay, because it's just a repeat now of these V's, okay? So 3 chain, double crochet, no space in between them. We're going to work inside of each square, okay? So I'll meet you at the end of it, because this slip stitch is just slip stitch, and exactly like I showed you here on the corner, we're just coming into the can't think of the word, the chain in here, okay, where we have the double crochets right underneath them, and do our slip stitch in there. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of the V's. So I just wanted to come back and show you I'm at the end now. With my gold one, I'm going to pull the string a bit, and I'm going to come in into the next space, and I'm going to pull the string to the back, okay, so we can tie everything in the back. I'm going to pull it slowly so I don't pull into anything, and I'm going to cut a little bit longer to have it tied up in the back. I'm going to make a knot already on it. Look at that, just perfect, right? And then make your knots back here. Make sure you tighten it properly. I'm going to make about 2 knots and then go through some of the gold back here and make a few knots here and there also, to make sure that nothing comes apart, especially with this nylon. It's so like slippery, it could undo any time. So okay, so I'm just going to go through it and make a couple of knots here and there, just where I have the gold, so I have to be careful. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side to the other thread. So here I'm going to make a knot already, just like that, and then pass again through some of the tight thread back here. Make another knot here to make sure. Guess it came apart. Try that again, right? and then I'll do the same thing here on this one and go in through here, make a few knots. Okay, so I'll meet you once we finish doing the V's at the other edge. Okay, you guys, so I pretty much finished doing all my V's. As I told you, it would have been the V per space in the blocks and no chain in between them. Only when you do the V's, you do your 3 chain. Now, I advanced myself because obviously it takes too much space on my mobile, but I left the last corner to do because the only change here is in the corners and not anywhere else. It's all V's. So you're going to repeat the 4 corners the same way. So once you get to, doesn't matter if you get to this V here just before the corner or the other corners. So I'm on my last V. And now we are not making any chain stitch. We're going directly into the first loop of the first chain of the 5 chains on the corner. And we're doing a double crochet and then chain 3. And then on the next one, we're doing a double crochet. So we're creating this little V here right at the edge of the corner. Okay. See if I can pull up a little bit here. And then directly, we're going into the middle one here and doing another double crochet. So you're going to have 2 double crochets here. Okay. We're doing 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 chain again. And we're coming into the same space as we just did this V for the 5 chain. Okay. 1, 2, no, sorry. What am I doing? We need to do exactly the same thing as here. So next space, we're doing a double crochet. So you're going to come directly from the V into the first chain here on the loop of 5 chain, do a double crochet, chain 3, next loop, do a double crochet, and right away another double crochet, chain 5, in the same one as we did here, we do another double crochet. On the next space, another double crochet. Now we do the chain 3, and we come into the last loop here and do the V again. So we'll have a V on this side, a V here, and the big one on the center with the 2 double crochets on each side. Okay, so and then we come directly into, so we have a single, 1 chain, and I'm going to come in my 1 chain, and I'm going to slip stitch. So pretty much closed in the V here. So it's exactly like here. There's no space and no space. And all 4 corners will be done this way. Okay? And we're almost at the end. And then I'm going to come directly inside of the V, do a single and 1 chain. I'm going to create a total of 8 double crochets inside of the space here. So single, 1 chain makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 double crochets. Into the next V, I'm creating a single. Into the next V, 8 double crochets. So this is going to be repeatedly the same way all the way around, except on the corners we'll be doing 12 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Into the next V directly, single. Okay, I'm just going to show you here on this one. So as you see, our corners are all the same way with the 2 V's and 1 in the center. Okay, we'll be doing 12 double crochets, and then right into the V that we have, that one there is a single, but we'll get to it when I get to the end of the, this is a very long one. The table is long, right? Okay, so just repeat that all the way to the other edge of the other corner, and then I'll meet you there. So it's just 8 double crochets, next V single, 8 double crochets, next V single. No space chain between them. Okay, you guys, so I pretty much arrived on my last group of 8. So I'm going to come in where we have that one chain. Remember we created a little V here in the corner? Do my single. And then come in where we have the 5 chain and do the 12 double crochets. So simple as that. All 4 corners will be the same. So I've done my 12. I'm going to come in, do my single, and continue to do my 8 double crochets. So everywhere else, all around the pattern is 8. Only the corners are 12 double crochets. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now remembering that doing smaller sizes, you could also do for a bedroom set. It will be stunning, right? So many ways to create this pattern. Or into your living room, your entrance hallway desk, buffet, of course your dining room. This is what I'm doing it for. Even if you have some other console desks in there, you can do also smaller. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next one, single. So it's just a repeat now, okay? So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so here's the thing. So I'm on the side of this one, and I've come to the end. Now, I usually, when there's something wrong, I don't add it. I show you because we can fix it. We don't need to take down the whole thing because of one little problem. So as I can see here, now unless I made a mistake somewhere, but I will go back and confirm if I have all my shells. Okay, so this is where I made the mistake. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you see, coming to the end, I would have to do a single there. I cannot do an 8 group here because we need to do the 12 here. It's supposed to be a single here. So by going back, and sometimes these mistakes are common to happen. So I was going to go and check where did I miss out. And I can see already I missed out right from the beginning. I have 2 singles here. Now, either you can skip that V at the end, or you just take out this row and fix, instead of doing the 8 here, I did a single because I already have my single here. So because this is just one row, I'm going to take it down. But if you don't want to take it down, you make sure you check yours. You can just jump from here to here and do your single and avoid this V. But because it's only one row or half a side of the row, I'm going to take it down. But I like to show you so you can understand that sometimes these mistakes are common. We tend to forget to put it down. So if I come from here, after doing my 12, I went in and did my single, and then I did another single. Not good. So I was supposed to do my group here of 8 and then a single here. So I'm going to take mine down just to show you, okay? Because normally I would have added it and that was it and you wouldn't have known. But it's 2 ways you can do it. Either you skip that V at the end or you take down and come and fix the problem, which that's what I'm going to do. Okay, you guys, so I fixed my problem here. Had to take it all down and fixed it. And I've just closed with the slip stitch. Now I'm going to pull my string again and leave this on this side. And I'm going to come in with the gold and do exactly the same thing as we did here on here. It makes it easier because there's no other. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a string. So I can tie it at the end. Pretty much come anywhere you would like. So basically we're going to do the slip stitch. Whoops, I have to pull the string to the front, sorry. Where's my head sometimes, right? I'm going to leave a little bit there. I'm going to come in and pull it to the front. Of course, I got the camera in front of my eyes. It's kind of hard to see. So you would do one. See, that's why it makes it easier. Make sure your tension is not pulling too tight or you're going to have a hard time with your pattern. It's going to shrinkle up too much. So you just do one at a time. One per space. Give it, loosen up your tension. And just keep going all the way around until the end. Okay? So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, I pretty much finished doing all the gold, which was easier for me, but if you find it's too hard for you, then you can do the next row, then come back and do the single. So we've closed in the white on the first double crochet we did here with the 8. So now I'm going to do the walk to the third double crochet with a slip stitch. Okay, so 1, 2 on my third. I'm going to do a single, 2, 3 chain. So single and 2 chain in this case, because it's the first one, is for double crochet and 1 for space. So next space, right where you have your loops here, where we've done the slip stitch, double crochet, 1 chain space, next space, double crochet. We're going to have a total of 5 double crochets. One chain and my 5th double crochet. Now if you realize we skipped 3 at the beginning and at the end we'll only have 1. This is the only way it could be arranged in order for it to stay in the middle. Okay, so on to the next one. No chain space. We're going to skip the first, the second. We're coming into the third double crochet, and this is what I mean. If you wanted to do this row before doing the slip stitch, you could, and then come back and do the slip stitch with the gold. So we're going to repeat again the 5 double crochets, 1 chain space between them, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so I did too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again into the skip 1, 2, come into your third one, one chain space, and do your 5 double crochets. And then you can cut your thread, and I'm coming in the last row with the gold. That's if you're changing color, of course. Now, reminder that if you wanted to leave it just like this, it would have been perfect too. One, two, three, four, five. So if you notice, it just becomes perfect right in the center. Okay, so repeat this, and I'll meet you at the corner on the other side. Okay, you guys, I pretty much advanced my pattern and we're doing the last corner, and all the 4 corners are the same way. That's why I advanced it. So you basically would finish your 5 double crochets. You would skip the first double crochet on your corner, and you do 5 double crochets, space of 1 chain, and all 4 corners are the same way. So you do 5 double crochets, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 chain space, and now chain 3. Going to the next one and do another 5. So basically we're skipping the first double crochet and the last double crochet, and then we're just going to slip stitch right into the first one we did to close out and cut our thread. Okay, so I did the 5 double crochets, 1 chain space, 3 chain, and 5 more. So that means we skipped the first double crochet and the last. Now went directly into the first one we started with slip stitch, cut off my thread and tucked in the loose ends. This is the last row. I'm coming in with the gold. Very simple. I'm going to leave a little bit of string so I can tie in at the end. Now you can start anywhere. It doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to start right here. Let me just check if I did singles. I can't even remember. Goodness, I couldn't even remember. Okay, so we're going to come here in the between the motives. I'm going to do a single. Leave that string there. I'm going to come and grab back loops only. And I'm going to do single, 1 chain, single, 1 chain. So it's pretty much going to be like this all the way around. 1 chain, single, 1 chain, until we get to the corner here. We're doing those 3 picots at the corner. So I'm coming directly in, doing single and 2 singles, 1 2 3 chain. I'm coming back in. Now you could either do it with a slip stitch or with a single to close in your picot. 1 2 3 4 5. Coming back into the first one that we did and slip stitch again. 1 2 3. Back in the same space and slip stitch again. So 2 singles. The 4 corners will be like this, and then directly back loops only, single, 1 chain, single, 1 chain. So it's just going to be repeatedly like this all the way around. Nothing to it. And this pretty much does it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed the pattern. Now, when you get here, you do a single in the center and between the spaces, okay? So you can get that effect. And then where we have the double crochet, single, next space, next double crochet, I should say, single, 1 chain. Almost forgot that 1 chain. That 1 chain is to give you that space of 1 chain that we did there. Okay, so nothing to it. That's all there is to it. Okay, I'll have it in display video at the end and pictures. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. And I will see you next time in the next tutorial. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care of each other, especially yourself. Bye-bye. Guys, I decided to come back to give you just a little explanation. The reason why I do 1 chain here and then the single on top of the double crochets is because this thread is nylon thread. It's thinner than my regular 4-ply. So if I did only a single on top of the double crochet, it would pull my pattern too much. But if you're using the same size of thread as your pattern, then you don't need to do 1 chain, okay? I have to do it because then it's gonna pull too much like that, right? So we don't want that. Since this is a thinner nylon, and I'm also going to block. This is laundry softener. It doesn't matter which one you use, whatever laundry softener you use. I'm going to spray over it. I'm going to stretch it with my hand. You can leave it dry flat in a flat surface. Or in my case, I light iron over it and put a little bit of steam also with the iron as I spray and stretch with my hands and just lightly iron over, and it stays nice and stiff. Okay, just want to let you know. So in case you're doing the same size thread as your pattern, as your centerpiece or your motifs here, then you don't need to do one chain. You can just do single, 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 because it's thick enough to go through on each double crochet. But if your thread is thinner, then you definitely need to do one chain like I did. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So I'm just gonna block it now, iron it, and put it on the table, and do a little video and some pictures so you guys can see. Okay, bye bye.